So our webinar title of today is From Big Data to Cost Optimized Transportation, Start Small and Scale Fast. And our expert of today will be Kai Peters, Director of Forflow Software, and Dr. Markus Koch, Manager at Forflow Software. We will start the presentation in a second, and we will have 5 to 10 minutes at the end of the webinar to answer to your question. So feel free to add any question to the chat so that at the end we can come back to it. Okay, but before giving then the stage to our expert today, let me provide you with the highlight of today's session. So we will start really speaking about the most relevant challenges for businesses, companies to deal with these issues of having big data, so this growing data volume that is really connected to other issues like data quality, unstructured data, or unavailable data. On a second step, we will really focus on right tools and right processes that different organizations are using now to really overcome this big data challenge and be not slow down in optimization of their processes and supply chain processes, starting from small data sets. And at the end, we will close up giving some practical example and some tips. Okay, but I think it's enough from my side, so I will give the stage to Kai.
Thank you, Grika. Yes, hello from my side. So, big data, that's a topic that we have seen in the last years really growing up. Just look at the figures. So we have today 90 times more data available than 10 years or 15 years back. And however, when we, from a software perspective, do our first meetings, the first top 5 answer is, we don't have the data quality is not right. So it seems to be an issue that we have a lot of data, but we are not able to really handle or work with all these data. So what we can see is that the processing speed and the scalability is there. So we have cloud solutions, we have space to keep all the data. So we are overcoming old systems where we do not have enough space for all the data. Second point is the data quality. So we are seeing that we have a lot of duplicates or inconsistent, inaccurate data, and this is makes it difficult to really make the right decision or use the data. And the third point is the missing or fragmented data. We have the data, but we don't have them available in a format or in a way that we can really use it. So, and this is giving companies a big challenge very often. So it's often hindering companies in their supply chain maturity. They cannot use the data in the efficient way. And if the data are not available, they even increase their cost. To overcome these problems, we can use tools or processes. So we have, as I said, the cloud-based solution. So a big data lake where we can have all the data at one location. For data cleansing, we can use systems or automated resources to correct the wrong data. And even there, we can enhance the data with machine learning things. But in the end, what the key driver is that you have to make your company or your team a data-driven organization. So you have to speak out what is needed. So to make your vision very, very clear. So I need this and that data to move forward, to increase or to optimize. And based on this, you can then use BI tools to create or to collect the data and make the right data available for you. And then another challenge started. So because we have so much data, it seems like it's a huge elephant, and we have to cut the elephant into pieces. And this we can do again, automated, or we can start with small batches. So slice the elephant, make it small, start small, scale fast, and make really use of the data you have, and where you have formulated the target that you would like to achieve. So this is our hint, and that we would like to give to you. And as the title says, start small and then scale fast. Just focus on a certain category of data and start to improve, to optimize your data, and by doing this, increase and optimize the cost of your supply chain organization. Maybe we give you an example, I give over to Markus, who is giving you an example of how we see to start small and then scale fast with the data. Markus.
Thank you, Kai. Yeah, exactly. So I wanted to detail a little bit on that method and to show you also how to get cost optimized transportation by using one of our software solutions, and also applying this 6-step approach, which you see here on the slide. But first, to give you a little bit of context, so the software solution I'm talking about is called for Futuro, and it relates to optimize call-off data in terms that we bring here the aspect of transportation into the material planning phase, and also in the phase of creating the call-offs for your suppliers. And in this phase, we basically, or the tool itself, looks if it can prepone certain call-offs to an earlier date to consolidate it with other ones, so that we can increase transportation utilization, and with that, in the end, save transportation costs and generate a benefit here for you. So in order to do that, we obviously need to have call-off data, but that's not sufficient. We also need to have material master data. We need to have packaging data, so that we, in the end, can really determine what volume, what weight, what wall loading meter needs to be shipped, and also does it fit onto a truck, onto a container, and what does it mean in terms of utilization. So you see, we need specific data in order to execute here the optimization, and also to feed the software solution. And in order to, like Kai said, start maybe with a small batch of data, and also to increase and scale this data set, we developed here this 6-step approach. And I wanted to go through the different steps and give you maybe some more explanations. So at first, we suggest, so that you get a better understanding of how the scope can be, to list actually your supplier relations and your lanes. So together, the data related to the lanes, meaning in transport spend for the different suppliers, and lanes, or also number of shipments, and also the different transport modes, for example. Then as a next step, you should categorize your suppliers related to the volume that they are transporting, to the transport spend, the transportation frequency, and also the reliability of your suppliers. And if you have done that, you should determine what is the focus I want to have on. So here, the idea is to focus on the most impact for your effort. So meaning you should prioritize your suppliers and the different lanes with those choosing as a high priority that have few materials to ship or deliver to your network, but provide a high frequency or high number of shipments. So with that, you can actually achieve a high impact on transportation cost savings, but need to collect less master data, as you only have like a few number of materials. And that brings me to the fourth step, to actually start with collecting the master data, or to increase the data quality for the relevant scope and focus you have selected. And if this is done, you can actually start with putting the software solution into action, so to optimize your call-offs and also to determine the transportation cost savings and estimate your savings potential. And this is automatically done in our software solution for Futuro. So that helps you at first to get the understanding of the savings potential and also to generate the savings in the end by optimizing the call-off data. But also it helps you to create a business case for the whole project and for the tool, so that you can continue then with step 6, so to expand basically your scope and repeat the steps 4 and 5. So continue collecting master data for other supplier relations and to increase your transportation cost savings. But now is the question how to actually put this step-by-step approach into practice. And therefore, I brought with me a small example of a project approach that we usually apply with our clients when they want to start, for example, here, a project with our for Futuro software solution, and also when they are using this 6-step approach in order to scope the data and the master data that is needed. And therefore, in the beginning, we usually kick the project off with having a process design phase. So get an understanding of the pros, of the workflows, and also the IT setup. Continued then by the actual integration project, the configuration of the tool, and also with the testing and training. So until you can actually then use the software solution for optimization and for generating your transportation cost savings. This can be done very quickly. So usually we see here like 2 months from day 1 until the actual use of the software solution. And this phase is also then accompanied by the data collection and preparation phase, where we usually see about 4 weeks that is needed here. And in this phase, you would basically apply the first 4 steps of our 6-step approach. So meaning listing your supplier relations, categorizing them, defining the focus, and actually executing the collection of the master data and increasing the availability and also quality of the data. If you have that, you can then use the tool itself. So you can do the optimization, monitor the transportation cost savings, and continue and scale, basically scaling the scope up in a ramp-up phase. So for example, here we have like a 3-month ramp-up phase. So we started with a small number of lanes and then continuously increase the number of lanes along with the most promising transportation cost savings. And for those added lanes, you would basically then continue adding the data for the needed materials and that are basically shipped on those lanes. So here we see that with this tool itself and also with the approach, we are very flexible, very adaptive. So you can start very small, have a proof on your transportation cost savings, and with that, then can continuously increase to extend also the savings itself, and also have some support on getting additional master data and improving your data quality. But so as we know, so if we want to have some new software solutions in place or also kick off new projects, it's always a discussion about business cases. So that's why we even go one step further to not just apply the 6-step approach for a general ramp up and also go live ramp up and go live approach, but also to even start earlier to use it for potential analysis or rapid assessment that we also offer for free of charge to see for a small scope of data and a small scope of lanes, is there actually a savings potential, and can I create a business case so that I have something for my management board in order to actually kick off a project, for example, of implementing Forfatoro as a software solution. And therefore, I brought to you a small case study that we did together with the client. So here it's an automotive supplier, which has in total over 150 suppliers, so quite high number, and also which has challenges in terms of master data availability and also data quality. So in order to at first create a business case and also estimate the savings potential, we set up for free potential analysis. So meaning we selected a data set of about 2 months and also defined 5 most relevant suppliers and promising lanes related to their transportation spend, to their as-is utilization, and also to their demand or call-off pattern. And for those 5 suppliers and the related materials, we or the client itself then started to collect the data so that when the data was available, so meaning the call-off data itself, but also then the master data and packaging data, we started to use it for our tool, for Forfatoro, to do the optimization and to calculate the savings potential so that you can see what can actually achieved in terms of transportation optimization by preponing call-offs to an earlier date so that they can be consolidated together. And these kind of results we usually present then to our clients in that way so that we have a good summary and can also share with them quite good statements on what kind of achievements can be realized. So meaning how many shipments, how many transports can be saved, what is the impact on utilization increase, what is the actually reduction of transportation costs, and also what does it mean on the in terms of what is preponed of the different materials. So for this example, like I said, we focused on 5 suppliers for 2 months. We defined 2 or 3 different scenarios here with a different configuration in the optimization, and we calculated the savings for that data set and for the dedicated time period. And results were quite impressive. So here in this example, we can achieve up to 21% of transportation cost savings when using our software solution, and also with that giving a good business case and a good start for promoting such a topic for cost optimization. And this is like a very good example, so where we can also with a small scope have at first a potential analysis to create a business case, but also use this initial scope as a starting point for then a project and for actual go live of a tool. And then you would basically, like mentioned earlier, continue extending the scope and also with that increasing your transportation cost savings and your savings potential. And with that, I would hand back to Kai.
Yeah, thank you, Markus. So it's an impressive example from your side. And if we now summarize it a little bit. So we first say communication is key. What does it mean? So you have to really communicate and speak out what you would like to achieve. I want to start small with a certain number of lanes or certain area of my network and start to optimize it so that everybody is clear that you're not looking for the big bang, the huge approach, so that everybody is aware we will start with a selected approach. Second point is that you're exactly doing this. So take one step or focus on, as Markus said, some lanes or some areas where you are guessing that there is optimization potential, and use it as a proof of concept and see it's working and scale from there with all your data and improve step by step your network. Leverage technology, of course. If you are using a data lake, there is BI tools who can certainly help you to optimize or to clean your data up. So in the end, there is technology, but even what Markus has shown, so we can also start very small with a file upload system just to improve and make use of the technology which is available. The fourth point is set your team into the right position. So the market or the know-how is really needed to work with this high amount of data. So you must have somebody who is able and can use the right tools to really improve based on your data, your supply chain, because by doing this, you can then take the right decisions and make everybody within your organization aware that you can use the data. So having data without using them, it's kind of useless. So that's why you have to train your full organization and especially your team to use the right tools and train them. And in the end, this is what Markus has also shown, review your first results and work with the results. And from there, then start to do the next step. Can I increase the number of lanes? Can I have a wider view on the network or wider view on my call-offs in this case? So really work with the results and then do, as mentioned in point 2, do the next step and increase and scale fast with what you are doing. So that's our learnings from how we see it, how we can overcome the big amount of data, which means really focus, start small, and then increase from there. So with that, I give back to Greta.
Thank you very much, Kai. And thank you both for the extremely insightful session. So yes, as mentioned in the beginning, feel free to ask any question in the chat. In case we will not be able to answer all of the question, don't worry about that. We will come back to you directly right after the session. Okay, so while we are waiting and giving you some time to write your question in the chat, if you're interested in your individual saving potential in the individual rapid assessment, feel free to scan this code and request your potential savings directly, so we can get in contact with you afterwards. Or if you want to contact our 2 experts, here there are all the contact information needed for it. Okay, really good. So I think we are getting first question. So the question is, what data is relevant or important for an optimization tool like Turo? What master data is needed?
I can take this question, Greta. So like mentioned, for Turo is a tool to optimize call-offs in order to consolidate them together. So besides the call-offs itself, so like having data on when which order needs to arrive at your site and also with which quantity, we also need to have like material master data and packaging data. So we need to know in terms of what is the weight, what is the actual volume, so what are the dimensions of, for example, pallets of the different boxes, so that we can calculate the weight, volume, and also the loading meter. And also we would need to have, like, if you have certain constraints on stackability, we also would need to have these kind of information. Usually you have these systems available. If not, like mentioned, you would need to work on getting this data. But this data is actually for us important so that we understand what will be shipped in the end. And also then in addition, what is the capacity that you can provide? So what kind of truck type you use and what is the related capacity of this truck, for example, in terms of volume, weight, and loading meter.
Thank you, Marcus, for the detailed answer. We have another question. So how intensive will be the preparation from the customer side?
That's a question we receive very often. So what do I have to do and so on. So compared to the results and to the improvements and the optimization and related to this, the savings, the effort on customer side is quite low. And the question is how intensive. So of course we have to work with the data, but this is exactly what we try to express with this webinar. So focus on a certain area, and then the effort is not very high. So and we can really start very small. See, we have the data available. We can maybe add manual or clean it up manually. But if we are then clear what is needed, then we can use the technology to increase or to use all the data available. So this is what we like to bring across. Really start small with a low effort and see it's working, and then scale from there.
Thank you very much, Kai. So another question is coming. Will there be a differentiator between the ability of different truck sizes?
Yeah, I can take that. So if I understood it correctly, so of course we can set up different truck sizes. So it's in the end also kind of a master data that you would upload to the tool or to the software solution. So in the end, the tool can work, yes, with different truck sizes and also then basically respect the resulting capacity constraints coming from that.
Great. Okay, I think times is up. It's 1 minute to go. So yeah, thank you everybody for your participation. Thank you, Kai. Thank you, Marcus, for your insights today. And yeah, have a beautiful rest of the day.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Have a nice